They called him Pope Emmanuel, an African son who rose from the red soil of Enugu to the hallowed halls of the Vatican. His laugh was gentle thunder. His prayers carried the ache of generations. He wasn't just a man of God. He was a man of the people. Born Emmanuel Chukwuma Okoye, he grew up in a village where palm trees danced with the wind and the smell of jollof rice filled Sunday air. His mother, Mama Grace, swept the church floors barefoot, singing Igbo hymns with a voice that softened even the sternest catechist. From her, young Emmanuel learned that prayer wasn't a performance, it was breath. Survival. But from his earliest days, Emmanuel's eyes held a light that others could not see, a quiet knowing. At 5, he led neighbors in prayer to halt a sudden flood, a moment they remembered as a small miracle, though he insisted it was simply faith in action. He ran barefoot through red puddles to fetch his father's old prayer book, mud splattering the pages he cherished. School lessons came easily, but his true classroom was under the flame tree, where he would raise his voice in song and invite passing children to join him in verses of hope. His laughter was soft, yet it lingered in the air, like incense in the chapel. When village children fell ill, his mother brought him to bed-bound beds so he could pray with the sick. Sometimes they recovered. Sometimes they did not, but he never faltered. At 12, he became the altar server, robes too large, hands trembling as he held the chalice. Still, his devotion was unwavering. At 3 times he nearly spilled the sacred wine, and each time he steadied himself, chalking it up to nerves rather than disrespect. The parish priest, Monsieur Paul, saw in him a son he'd never known, guiding Emmanuel's hands, teaching him Latin prayers as twilight bathed the chapel in lavender shadows. As a child, he prayed not to be powerful but to be useful. At 14, he memorized the Book of Psalms. When Emmanuel was 17, he walked 10 kilometers to the minor seminary in Makurdi, a knot of hope in his heart the size of the sun. He left his mother's tears behind, replaced by a quiet vow, "I shall serve." The seminary tested him: early mornings, rigorous study of Greek, theology debates, cold showers in a dormitory where dreams mingled with mosquito nets. Yet, he rose each dawn to pray for the wisdom to carry burdens not yet borne. His classmates teased his accent, but he responded with kindness. He tutored struggling students in philosophy, staying up past midnight to translate Aquinas into Pidgin so everyone could understand. He wrote letters back home, describing the aroma of chapel incense, the echo of choir lessons, the thrill of his first Latin Mass. Ordained at 25, Father Emmanuel returned to Nigeria to serve in Lagos, a city of dichotomies, skyscrapers and slums, laughter and sirens. He chose the poorest parish, where electricity blinked and pews were woven from banana leaves. He baptized infants in tin basins and consecrated bread in cracked clay ovens. He battled exhaustion, sleeping under church benches to be nearer to his flock. His reputation grew. He counseled war orphans, smiled at lepers without fear, and sat with politicians in marbled offices, refusing to utter a single word against them unless it served justice and mercy. One evening, when a distraught mother pleaded for her son's freedom from a prison cell, he went alone to the governor's mansion at midnight. He returned at dawn with a pardon. No cameras, no fanfare, just a letter bearing his signature and the governor's humbled apology. When the time came for the conclave, the world buzzed with speculation. Cardinals in stoles of scarlet and gold whispered of traditions, of Latin liturgies, of centuries of European heritage. Then white smoke billowed from the chimney, and a hush fell over Rome, a card bearing the number 1. From the shadows emerged Brother Emmanuel, thin, unassuming, draped in white. Crowned Pope Emmanuel I, he stepped onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, and his first words echoed across the plaza. "My brothers and sisters, place your burdens at my feet, for I share them with you." He laughed, a soft, human sound, breaking centuries of solemnity. His papacy was a mosaic of small gestures and grand hope. He refused the papal throne, opting instead for a simple chair made by a Nigerian carpenter. He walked the corridors of the Vatican unaccompanied, greeting Swiss guards with warmth, blessing janitors with gratitude. On Good Friday, he washed the feet of refugees, Muslim, Christian, and orphan children whose names he remembered. He delivered sermons in 11 languages, pausing at each to smile at the congregation, as if to say, "You are seen. You are loved." He weathered storms, schisms within the church, political backlash, whispers of radical change. When a patriarch publicly denounced his reforms, Emmanuel responded not with angry letters but with a day of fasting and prayer for unity. When media outlets questioned his worldliness, he rode a public bus through Rome during rush hour, offering passengers hymnal booklets. In 2019, when a cholera outbreak struck a North African nation, he chartered Vatican flights to deliver medical supplies, personally inspecting each shipment. He walked hospital wards, holding frail hands, blessing vials of medicine, reminding everyone that every life was sacred. Age crept upon him. His hands trembled, his voice grew softer. Yet his eyes burned with a fire that no illness could quench. On the eve of Easter, he celebrated a Mass at dawn in an ancient basilica, tears slipping down his cheeks as he spoke of God's unending mercy. Pilgrims wept alongside him, as if their grief and gratitude were one. That night, in his chambers, he penned a final letter to the world, singing praises of humility, service, and love. He wrote of his mother's cinnamon-scented prayers, of the orphan's smile that healed his own heart, of the children whose names he carried in a small notebook. When Pope Emmanuel passed at sunrise, the sky above Rome blazed gold. Bells pealed, flags flew at half-mast. Yet the morning was quiet, like the hush after a symphony's final note. Behind the scenes, his staff discovered the final letter. If you walk with love, you walk with God. If you serve the broken, you touch eternity. Let kindness be your creed, and mercy your standard. In every heartbeat, remember, you are a child of peace. In his native village, a feast of thanksgiving followed. Rice, stews, hymns, and dancing beneath the flame tree. In Lagos, refugees hung his pictures in their makeshift homes. In the Vatican, the simple chair he sat on now stands as a symbol of humility, placed in the basilica for pilgrims to touch. Generations will speak of Pope Emmanuel I, not for what he achieved, but for the compassion he lived. His story, twice as long as any Mass, continues in the hearts of those he loved, served, and inspired. And wherever there is suffering, you may still hear the whisper of his final benediction, "Peace be with you. Go, love one another,